Hello there, my name's Alice. I'm an illustrator, sculptor, and whatever it is that we're doing today. And welcome back to the Mushroom Nook Studio. Things tend to get a little strange around here. So, today in the Mushroom Nook Studio, we're going to be looking at the Mushroom Nook Studio. That's right, my lovely friend and fellow illustrator Hannah Farthing, picture here, handle here, go check her out, she's awesome, told me that she would love to see a studio tour of my little studio slash workspace situation. So I popped a question up on Instagram and an overwhelming amount of you said that yes, you would also love to see that. So I sure hope that everyone who voted on that poll is now currently giving me that sweet watch time right now, because if not, what's wrong with you? I've been told that I ramble on way too long with these intros, so I will shut up now and let's crack on with the tour. Hello there, friends and travelers. You find yourself here at the entrance to the Mushroom Nook Studio. A moment of appreciation for the Sweeney Todd tea towel hanging here like a billboard, because this is the kind of vibes one needs to psych oneself up to before a full day of work. Alright, enough stalling. Let's go. In the interest of this video having some resemblance of cohesion, we shall make our way through the studio in a clockwise direction. Get it? Clock? Starting here with the door. Next to said door is an area containing art that spark joy. I don't really like to put my own art around my studio. I'd rather look at other people's stuff to gain inspiration, like this beautiful Pre-Raphaelite print that I got from a trip to Canterbury. It's one of the joys of living in England. You can go down to an antique shop and pick up something that are hundreds of years old, and they'll sell it to you for like a $5. It's glorious. This piece right next to it is of a slightly more recent vintage. One of the fun of going to art school is you get to have super mega talented friends. This drawing was done by my friend Hannah Locke, who I will link to in the description below. I saw her drawing it when we were still sharing a studio and bought it right off her there and then. No regrets. Right under Hannah's fun guy are these fun guys. Another stellar antique store steal. William Blake, you magnificent lunatic. Underneath them are my printer and hard drives, which sit atop an IKEA Alex drawer unit. I like to think of it as a plan chest for those who have neither the money nor the space for an actual plan chest. I used to store all my paper and artworks in various archival boxes and portfolios, and it was just a hot mess. So this baby was an absolute lifesaver. I usually work in A3 and A4, and each drawer here fits an A2 size exactly, which means I have plenty of room. Moving on, this is the practical but not terribly sexy bit. I have my printer and charging cable wrapped up on this little hook, so that just keeps it nice and out of the way. There's a little life hack for you. Oh yes, there's my little easel, back from when I was still painting with acrylic on canvas. I don't do much of that anymore, hence why it's all disassembled and in a corner. It now lives here with my little camping stool that I use for when I go on location drawing, as well as my embroidery stuff. Moving swiftly on, welcome to the Tudor Shrine. Fun fact about me, the Tudor period of English history is my personal obsession. My first year in the UK, I got this set of postcards of Henry VIII and his 6 wives. And ever since then, it's been a tradition of mine that wherever I go, whatever studio or living situation that I set up, there has to be a Tudor shrine. Under the shrine, we have this big corkboard because I have a cork fetish. I use it to pin up any inspiration and references I need for the current big personal projects that I'm working on. Now, these postcards have been up there for a while because I've been procrastinating it, but can you possibly tell what the project might be about just by looking at this? Right, here we are. This is what you all came for. The centerpiece. The piece de resistance. Can I even call myself an illustrator in the year of our Lord 2020 if all my furniture is not IKEA and my desk is not a piece of wood atop 2 trestles? I'll do you one better. This is actually an IKEA dining table, but I decided to put the top on the trestles and use the legs for a plant stand, because I can. As you can see, the desk is placed right up to the window for maximum natural light. But because of the direction my window faces, on a sunny afternoon, the light does have a tendency to shine directly into my eyes, which is what the sheer blinds are there for. As you may have noticed, my desk is a light wood, pine to be exact, and I quite like to keep it as clean and damage-free as I can. My solution is to put down this cork sheet before doing any drawing or painting, and then putting it away when I'm done. I'm sure there are better ways around this problem, but hey, it works. Here on the windowsill are plants and knickknacks, as well as the sewing box in which I keep all my watercolor and gouache paints, as well as my inks and some rubber stamps. On the shelf next to the desk lies all of my tools of the trade. Oh, and a Game of Thrones shrine. The crowning glory of which is this glorious beast of an iron throne my little sister spent weeks making me as a birthday present once upon a time that I use to charge my phone. Because my sister is cooler than yours. Ladies and gents, may I introduce you to my studio guardian, Mr. Barry Chorizo. Barry, ladies and gents, Barry would like you to know that his first name is the middle name of one illustrious Chris Riddell, and Chorizo is what Mr. Riddell had for lunch the day that I attended a sketch meet event with him at the House of Illustrations. He put up with my shameless fangirling, signed my book, and gave me Barry, whom he conjured up with his pencil 10 minutes ago. Barry has been watching over me ever since. He is a calming and disciplining presence. I have a set of Ivar shelves that line the wall here. I'm a big fan of open storage because when I had drawers, no matter how hard I try, they always end up a hot mess in a few weeks. Open storage, however, encourages me to keep things neat and tidy since I have to look at it all the time and my aesthetic trash self refuses to confront clutter every day. I am also almost anal about the idea of everything having a permanent home. This particular unit is home to my current sketchbooks, prints, scanner, reference books, packing materials, and store display stuff for when I go to art fairs. When I first shot this video, I blabbered on about every single thing on this shelf, which I then quickly realized no one's going to watch. So instead, I'd just like to quickly show off this miniature functioning printing press that's also a pencil sharpener. Oh, and every watercolorist keeps a hairdryer by their side at all times. It's industry standard because life is too short. I have a whole bookshelf downstairs where I keep most of my books. The ones here in the studio are reference books that I reach for the most for work. I'll quickly go through them because that seems like something people would be interested in. First is this Elfgren art book with all the pinups, perfect for all my post-referencing needs. This Circuit alphabet book I stole from Cambridge School of Art studio. If you're watching this, Chris and Jim, sorry. The AOI's Illustrator's Guide to Law and Business Practice. This is a really easy to understand and comprehensive book for all the super fun side of the job that I don't want to think about, but have to anyway. A staple in every artist's arsenal, Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, aka the Narrative Image-Making Bible. Not a word of a lie. Reading this book is the equivalent of a year of art school. And I spent 3 years in art school. And then we have Varoom, the official magazine of the Association of Illustrators, which I'm a member of. This particular issue is on fantasy and illustration. It's really cool. And we have memorabilia from past exhibitions I've been in. On top of these shelving units are just all the stuff that have zero function, apart from making me happy when I look at them, including this awesome letterpress pointer finger ornament I got from my friend Hannah Bigley. Not to be confused with Hannah Locke or Hannah Farthing. Yes, 80% of my friend group is people called Hannah, and it's made for some very fun group chats. Down here is my tech basket, where I toss in all my tech stuff. But at this point, I can hear you all saying, Alice, we don't give a toss about your tech basket. We want to know what on earth is Sirius Black guarding. And we are getting there. Patience. Remember when I said I'm obsessed with the idea of everything having a permanent home? Well, with a click and a swish, I can reveal the permanent home of my sculpting station. This is where the mushroom magic happens. Tools, supplies, bits and bobs, all snug and neat, all set up and ready to go at a moment's notice. And when I'm done, the chaos is neatly tucked away again. And with that, we find ourselves nearing the end of this tour. All I've got left to show you are these magnificent Gustave Doré Paradise Lost prints I got for £2 each from an antiquarian bookshop in Cambridge. And this tiny closet situation where I keep old canvases from back in my acrylic days, portfolios, and all the DIY supplies a girl needs to build her own studio and do the boyfriend's head in with impromptu woodwork constructions in the garden. Before you ask, the nail gun is my favorite power tool. And that's that, folks! This has been my little hidey hole, the place I feel happiest in all of the world. Let's have a moment's silence for this golden hour lighting. Because... so smooth. I hope you enjoyed that tour. I hope it wasn't too boring, that it's at least entertaining or helpful, inspirational in some ways. Personally, I have gone through a lot of iterations of trying to set up my own workspace and finding out what works and what doesn't for me personally, so that when I set up this situation, even though it's quite a small studio, I knew what I wanted, I knew what I didn't want, so I was able to set it up to fit me just right, and I think that's really important. You need to figure out how you work and what you like and tailor your space around you. And once you've got that figured out, then it doesn't matter if you have a big space or a small space to work with, you can make it fit you just right. But yeah, that's that. Now you know. And as always, if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, follow me on all the social media, links below. Oh, by the way, if you still got an appetite to see more Illustrator Studios, my friend Hannah Farthing's actually got a really good video on her website, which I'll link below, of her workspace. She is a printmaker, but not just any kind of printmaking. She is a letterpress printmaker, and it's just so cool, and it's hard to describe, so you just need to go and see it yourself. It's a completely different kind of setup because she needs a lot more stuff, and the stuff is just so cool, and everything just looks so good, and you should totally go check her out and check her work out. She's awesome. Shout out to you, Hannah. If you've watched this part of the video, then you are freaking awesome, and I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. I hope you're having a nice, safe, and sane time in these strange times that we live in. And I'll see you around here soon.